I was raped by my dad's friend, and then my dad also used to abuse me. And when I told him, he didn't believe me. So I went to the child line in Parktown, where next to my school. And then I told him what happened, and then they took me away from my father. Then they told him that if he can't take care of me, then they have to take me away.
Very often the sexual offence is perpetrated by the guardian or caregiver of the child.
Sometimes you come across children that really are living in abject poverty, and you know that the abuse is fueled by the poverty, and you feel helpless, when you can't extricate the children from that situation.
If a child gets raped, it's a violent act. The younger the child, the more violent the act.
I knew it was wrong because he was married. Why come to me? I was 8 years old.
Did you ever think about going to his wife and talking to her?
What would it have helped?
A 3-year-old hymenal opening is 3 millimeters. So in order to fully penetrate a small baby like that, you basically need to tear the perineum. Very often a knife is used in order to open the perineum so that the person can penetrate. Otherwise it's impossible to penetrate a 3-year-old without that sort of violence.
There is a myth that is attached with HIV/AIDS. If you are HIV positive, if a guy is HIV positive, then that guy sleeps with a young one, then that can cure HIV/AIDS, which is not true.
When people consult with you, what are they usually consulting with you about?
Every problem. Most of the people, if you've got a problem, they start to see the healer first before I'm referring to the clinics. Family problem, children problem, everything. They consult the healer.
Unlike a doctor who you would see within office hours, the traditional healers are available 24 hours. They have lots of time. They understand the culture. They understand the language. They understand the nuances of, family life because they're part of the community.
The traditional healers should be educated. They also need education on HIV/AIDS transmission, because even the way they practice their process of healing people can or is very much contributing to the rate of HIV and AIDS, or to the increasing state of HIV/AIDS.
Rape doesn't come into it. They're just instructed to have sex with the child because it's pure, because it's untouched, and the Makosini will be happy and make you better. Because your illness will be taken out by the purity of that child.
I'm trying to advise the community and cooperate the community to know what is going on. Go house to house, door-to-door campaign, telling people about information about HIV and AIDS.
They come with different symptoms depending on their stages. They do come here with severe diarrhea. They come here with general body weakness. They usually have chest pain. They have signs and symptoms of TB. When we discharge these patients, we make it a point that the relatives have been informed. They go home being accepted by their families.
Some of the people that we have met in the communities are also church members. So they have complained that they are ill-treated in the churches, like being expelled from the church just because they have disclosed their status.
We are having a lot of difficulty in having parents come forward with their children. We know that they are there, but they're not coming forward.
HIV/AIDS, according to their knowledge, is only transmitted through sex. And at the same time, churches believe that sex is not something that is acceptable to be done by church members.
In the rural areas, they don't report the cases at all, because no one is going out there to know who died how.
They do not have a television that can keep them updated on HIV/AIDS. They do not have radios that can update and educate them on HIV/AIDS. So those are the people who are suffering the most.
To me, it's really part of the bigger violence where people are simply on edge, because we were geared for war. And simply that was stopped. And once that was stopped, there was really nothing else to do. And women and children are part of a vulnerable group that can, be part of or victimized as part of the violence.
I've got terrible feelings because, this is killing our youth. The rape, they confuse their minds after that, after the rape. Their minds are being confused, and some of them don't believe in carrying on with life after that, because they believe that's just it. I can never do anything because I'm not respected.
I've had victims, perpetrators who are as young as 6-year-old who have raped, other children like 8-year-old, 9-year-old at knife point. And that to me was a worrying factor that, children are seeing quite a lot of violence and they're really acting it out.
They know exactly that even in the past that we have to respect the children because they are our future, even for themselves, for the traditional healers. The children are their future. We need, if I can be arrogant, say that we need more traditional healers. If they are now raping and killing these youngsters, who are going to take over at a later stage?
Yeah, we can sit here in our hospital situation, but it can relate only very tenuously to what is actually happening in 30 or 40 kilometers away in the peripheral areas where the heat is on. A young mother who has an HIV positive child that's sick, for her to make the jump across to getting onto the program is considerable.
The problem is likely to escalate out of hand, and that we need government intervention, we need private intervention, and that we just really can't turn a blind eye and hope that children are going to grow up safely. It's going to have to take organizations like ourselves and people with an interest to say, this is the problem, this is the solution, and let's take it to scale.